Hi there, it's me, Courtney Brooke, and I want to share a few things I most love about living here at Earthaven. Yeah, one of the things I most love is the consistent engagement that I have in my life with the outside. There's so many things that keep me outside of my house, and I also spend a lot of time inside of my house. But I can just, right now I can just see out the window, there's the forest and the maple trees are blossoming and the peach tree is blossoming and the elderberry starting to put on leaves, and it's just, I feel really connected with the outside world just having such a land-based life. And, it's like everywhere I go to see my people, to have a cup of tea or to just check in on someone or to run an errand, it's all mostly just walking around instead of getting in the car and driving. So I'm just walking by the plants and seeing what's blooming, and I have to walk by the creek so I can just splash my face with water, and I love that. And another thing I just really highly value about living in community is the intergenerational life. I have friends who are like not even born yet who are in the belly of my friends, and I have friends and loved ones who are elders and just everywhere in between. And I'm a really social person. I'm, extroverted, and like I have like a high need for social contact. And I have lived in another eco-village before where there wasn't as much of a diversity of people and there wasn't as much of a diversity of age range. And so I spent a lot of time going to town to meet my needs, my social needs. And here, I hardly ever leave. I might go to town once a month. And, I'm also a Cancerian, and I love to be at home, so that's part of my program also. But I just don't need to leave. I can just get most of my social needs met without ever getting in my car, which is such a blessing. Because I don't really like to be in the car, especially when it's an hour to town and an hour home, and, then I have to, I get fried from going to town. So I love that. I love living on the land, and I love the diversity of age range. And I would say another thing I really love about Earthaven is how, and just living in community in general, is how co-creative it is. If it's like, oh, I just really, like when I'm out in the world, still in my life, I'm still, under the government of the United States and of North Carolina and all that, but I'm like, if I don't like something here in the way that it's governed and the way that some project is going, or I don't know, the collective consciousness is heading, I'm part of it just as much as anybody. And so I can take responsibility for it and be like, if I want to see a change, like, what am I going to do about that? And it's like, it's a really beautiful process, and other people all do that also. We have collective governance, and so we come together and bring an idea and really decide if it's a good idea all together, and how it's going to benefit everyone, and how's that going to work. And it does take up a lot of time to do that way, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, because it's like, yeah, it's really like a mirror. Like whatever we're putting out, that's what's happening. It's not happening to us, it's happening alongside of us. So I love that. And the last thing I'll say that I love, although the list is very long, is belonging to a place together with other people. So we're on a huge journey. Earthaven's 26 years old. I've only been living here for a few years. May it be a 500-year program or more. So we're just in the very beginning, but I really sense deeply in my body this like deepening sense of being part of an ecosystem, and as opposed to being like, I just turn on the water and the faucet and the water just comes out. It's like, no, I really know where that water's coming from, and I go there and I take care of that together with the people, and just how that's really emergent. It's an emerging belonging, like getting to know the animals and the seasons over time and the soil and tending that. And I really have this prayer that we can all be like, embrace our footprint as humans, and like, instead of going down the train of like, footprint is bad, and the best we can do is not have a negative footprint. Like, can we get onto the mindset of, I want to have a footprint, a big one, a positive one, a beautiful one. People have been living in these mountains for 10,000 years and making it better and better all the time. And I want to be acting like that wherever I live. And I really feel that shared commitment to that here. And whatever, we don't have all the answers, and we're doing lots of things in ways that like aren't perfect, and that's all okay too. It's part of the journey. But I appreciate that the journey, we're on it together, and I feel the medicine of it in my body and in my life of what it feels like to belong somewhere. And yeah, those are some of the things I love about living in community and living at Earthaven.